Hello and welcome to Moment of Truth on Labour Social. I'm Graham Hughes. So Sarah Vine, Daily Heil Rent-a-Gob and former wife of Brexit-in-chief Michael Gove, has gone off on one about the Britain that she and her disgusting cabal of Tories and tabloid hacks have created. You know, the one where no one under the age of 30 can buy a house, food prices have gone through the roof, children go hungry, homelessness is rife, police numbers have been cut to the bone, the health system is on its knees, millions have to choose between heating or eating, and where the economy hasn't grown since Maximo Park last troubled the top 40. And don't just take my word for it, here's what she's got to say about the country that has been run by her preferred political party and her tabloid paymasters for 31 of the last 44 years. Almost nothing works anymore, and it hasn't done for a while now. All around us, the social and physical infrastructure that once held this country together is crumbling. You name it. Our roads are rubbish, our rivers are polluted, our streets are overrun by lunatics wielding machetes. It's impossible to get anywhere or do anything without it turning into a 3-act drama. Why can't people just be nice, eh? This is the same woman who dead-named Jack Monroe, compared Ed Miliband's wife to Mr. Spock, and was seemingly happy for people to die of COVID if it meant keeping the economy afloat. This column was kicked off by the fact that Vine was inconvenienced by British Airways. You know, our nation's flag carrier that was privatised in the 80s by, the Tories. And her mum can't get to Cornwall on the trains, which were privatised in the 90s by, the Tories. No way to run a vital public service, she says. The fact that these services aren't public and haven't been public for several decades because of the freaking Tories and the very newspaper barons she works for, don't worry about that. She bemoans the selfishness, the individualism, the lack of community spirit, the fact that no one cares, no one can be bothered, and no one takes responsibility for anything. You could be fooled into thinking she's talking about the Tory party, but she's not. You know, the dysfunctional monkey clown car on fire that's been running our country into the ground for the last 13 years. Of course, she's a Tory. And it's always someone else's fault. She's whining from her ivory Brexit tower about us, you and me. She's got the country that she pined for, the country she wanted, the country that she and her ex-husband helped create. Instead of blasting the winners of the last 4 general elections, she rants about Sadiq Khan for implementing the Tory party of expanding ULEZ, something he was forced to do because, firstly, it saves lives, and secondly, because otherwise the Tories were threatening to withhold vital public transport funding. She then has a pop at the rail unions, teachers, migrants, doctors, civil servants, and, of course, trans people. It's bigot bingo a go-go. She even blames political correctness. So yeah, that's house for those of you playing at home. In fact, none of the things she complains about, potholes in our roads, the rivers that are filled with shit, the crime on our streets, are the fault of the government that's been in charge for the last 13 years. I mean, what can they do about it? They've only been in charge of the country for the last 13 years. But the reality is that the Tory government, Tufton Street think tanks, the tabloids she's championed for the last 30-odd years, and the Brexit that she campaigned for have turned Britain into a place where, in her words, incompetence has become the norm. A place where excellence and high standards are things of the past. That's where the blame lies. And deep down, I reckon she knows it. She, like many of her generation and disposition, look at our country and sees what she wants to see. A country that is cruel, mean, and vile as she is. A country crudely drawn from her own reflection. Essentially, she's looking in the mirror and she hates what she sees. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. We can be the change that we want to see. And that starts by destroying the selfish, nihilistic, money-grubbing Tory party and all of their enablers in the next election, and holding whatever comes next to a much, much higher standard.